Frankie Russo, I'm over here. It's about 12:50. I'm running a minute late. Okay, 77 WABC pre-show. Got to join America's team. Go to facebook.com/Frankie Russo Show. Click on the buttons, and let's do this. We're gonna raise the 50,000. It's gonna take some time, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna raise it for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. We're gonna raise it for the men and women. We're gonna help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. We're gonna help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces with this post-traumatic stress disorder. Unfortunately, at all intents and purposes, they're committing suicide, 22 suicides every day. It's crazy. We got to stop. We got to stop it. We're going to get some handheld biofeedback devices. We're going to rent the rooms, get doctors and nurses, and make it happen. So that's what we're going to do. America's team, go to the icon, click on it. Let's get this funding going. We're going to do this, okay? All right, so we're going to do the America's team. We're going to help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. So today's is the pre-show. We're going to go to about 12:20 and get ready for tonight because in 7 hours, the polls open up in South Carolina. So just to give everybody an idea, okay, just to give you all an idea of what Frankie Russo was talking about. All right. According to 538.com, Donald Trump has a 77% chance of winning the South Carolina primary. It don't mean nothing because you got to go out and vote. But you got to go out and vote. Okay? Now, there was some 56 polls done over there. So people are all pulled out in South Carolina. We got to go and we got to take on, we got to show the establishment, Bush, Kakich. We got to show the Canadian Cruz with the Canadian birth certificate and no naturalization papers. We got to show the bubble boy, the anchor baby from Florida, Rubio, that we ain't taking no more. We're going to vote Donald J. Trump. We're going to put the natural-born American citizen in the White House. He's going to secure the borders, build the wall, and just make this country, America, great again. His poll numbers, they don't lie. They just don't lie. They go 13, Trump plus 13, Trump plus 5, Trump plus 13, Trump plus 3, Trump plus 19, Trump plus 17, Trump plus 12. He's trending in a positive direction, up. He's trending in the 30s, the mid 30s, and I believe he's going to outperform these polls. But we got to go out and vote, okay? So I just want to get that off my thing. All right, so we got some articles. We'll go through some articles for about 25 minutes because we're gonna have a great show tonight. This is crazy night. All right, Trump and Drudge for the win. Salon.com. Now that's not a Trump paper. It's predicting that Trump and Drudge, the Republican. Well, it talks about the debate, but quite frankly, on all intents and purposes, wow, look at this. The Drudge Report, listen to this, a different story. Drudge Report. Now, understand, online voting is not statistically significant. It's not scientific. Why? Why do you think? Dewey versus Truman, they did a poll, and the poll came out that Dewey won. But the random sample was flawed. Why? Because they called everybody by telephone. And in those days, in the 40s, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 40s, right? In those days, not everybody had a telephone. So the poll was flawed. Here, not everybody has access to the internet, so online voting is not statistically significant. It's not a scientific poll. So, being that said, it's anecdotal and it's nice to have conversation. So, according to this online poll, Drudge report, the Drudge, the majority of GOP voters, online readers poll, in the Drudge's poll of hundreds of readers, Trump dominated by more than a 2-to-1 vote over the next competitor, the Canadian Cruz. It's not a scientific poll, but it's probably a much better reflection of how the debate, they're talking about the debate, was received by real Republican primary voters than the vocal reaction of the established packed debate audience. The results of some 400,000 votes. This is not a scientific poll. Trump got 55%. Cruz got 21%, Canadian Cruz got 21%, and Rubio, the anchor baby, got 13%. So there it is. That's interesting. Oh, here's another one. Donald Trump will be the GOP nominee according to students' mock convention in Louisiana, in Lexington, Virginia. A gymnasium full of college students, a gymnasium full of college students. What they do is, it's Washington and Lee University. They do it every presidential cycle.
4 years.
Every 4 years. They've picked up until they didn't pick Romney. They've picked a winner for, I think they have an intriguing predictions. Their success of predictions is incredible. And they offer having successfully forecast the nominee of the party not in the White House in 19 of 25 attempts, including all but two since 1948. And in the end, it's a drawn-out process. They say it's very meticulous. And in the end, Donald Trump earned 1,320 delegates. Cruz had 652, and Rubio had 399. The prediction is a serious matter on this History So campus, where students have hosted a mock convention every 4 years since 1908. Designed to predict the nominee of the party not currently in the White House, it draws prominent politicians from around the country, engages students in a 4-year planning and fundraising effort, and has historically precipitated more than a fair share of celebratory parties as well as an annual parade. Wow. Interesting. Look at this. Mock convention. That is real. Signs, like you're at a big convention. It's no joke. Wow. So that's that. Interesting, right? Check out Trump's accuses the RNC of illegally fundraising using his name. Let's see this. Oh, the page is not available now? Oh. All right, we'll get rid of that. We'll go to the next one. Oh, I found this interesting. You know, Canadian government plans to turn 7 military bases into publicly funded migrant camps. That new prime minister, who, you know, I think Ted Cruz should hang out with this. He probably knows him. I think his name is Justin Trudeau. Yes. The government of Canada has ordered its military to draw up plans for migrant camps that will allow more than 6,000 Muslims to be housed on a long-term basis at several Canadian Forces bases. Cruz, the Canadian birth certificate, no naturalization papers from the United States, he should definitely look into this and help Justin Trudeau. Hundreds of thousands of Canadian dollars have reportedly been set aside for religious support to fund the purchase of Qurans, prayer maps, foot washing towels, as well as the construction of mosques or worship centers with CAN 216,000 for Quebec bases alone. What's going on over here? Total of 7 Canadian Force bases across the province of Quebec, Ontario. This is crazy. Yeah, Justin Trudeau, the great liberal. That's Cruz's people. Cruz's people. I don't know how Cruz got into. How did Cruz get into Texas? How did he become United States Senator of Texas? I have friends in Texas. Those people don't play. Their guns go on the table over there. Their guns go on the table. They throw down. They're Americans over there. They love this country. How did they let Canadian Cruz get into the United States Senate? I don't get it. Islamic State conspiracy leader pleads guilty in Minnesota. 20-year-old leader of a group of aspiring Islamic terrorists from Minnesota pleaded guilty to conspiring to provide material support to ISIS. This is Mohammed Warsam, took part in several meetings for a group of ISIS terror hopefuls from Minnesota's Somali American community. Big problem over there. Big problem. Big problem. At least 9 of the men met during one night that sprung at a local mosque where they played basketball and watched propaganda videos that glorified religious violence, according to the indictment against Warsam. I mean, you can't make this stuff up in this country, in Minnesota. Oh, here's this. Scalia found dead with pillow over his head. I was listening. You know, one of my favorite broadcasters is Mike Savage. That guy, I think that guy's amazing. And he was talking about Scalia found dead with pillow over his head. I listened to his rants. I mean, he was great. He's doing actual research on this. It's really interesting. I'd love to hear what he comes up with. Scalia was found dead in a Creek Ranch, Texas resort hotel, a 30,000-acre luxury ranch. They said he was in great spirits. How did he end up out in this ranch out of nowhere? They don't understand it. They said if he had a condition, what's he doing out there? Is there hanky-panky? We'll soon find out. I don't know. But he was found dead with a pillow over his head. It's crazy. Unbelievable. And we got Kenneth Tillman. He's my favorite. This guy's one of my favorite investigative reporters. This guy has great stuff. The future of Iranian terror and its threat to the U.S. homeland. This was one of his posts. The Foreign Policy Initiative. The House Committee on Homeland Security Subcommittee on Counterterrorism and Intelligence, February 11, 2016. This is Kenneth Tillman. He's an investigative reporter. He wrote the book Dark Forces: The Truth About Benghazi. He's the one that went over to the Middle East, and he did his intelligence research, and he found that I forgot my thought. Somebody passed by and they waved. I waved.
Facts.
What happened?
He found out the facts.
Yeah, he found out the facts, and he found out that the Quds Force General Soleimani is leading the charge. What is he leading? Quite frankly, it wasn't the video of Muhammad. It wasn't the video the revenge for the death of Abu Yahya al-Libi, the confidant of Osama bin Laden. It wasn't that either. It was Ansar al-Sharia, who was materially supported, that killed the 4 Americans, and it was materially supported by the Quds Force, the Iranian Quds Force, General Soleimani. That's what he found out, and that's a that's a crazy. That's unbelievable. That would take the whole thing of the whole thing of the New Deal and all the plans that Obama had the second half of his of his 8 years, it would just blow it away. People found out that it wasn't this video, it was an Al Qaeda affiliate, but the Al Qaeda affiliate was materially supported by the Iranian Quds Force, General Soleimani. They gave them money, they gave them weapons, and they trained them. And what happened was, but I don't want to get into it, make it a big thing, but because it's another discussion. The precursor was the Gaddafi coup d'état, where we armed the Libyan fighting group, the Libyan Islamic fighting group, and the Ben Kumu, who was a 2007 Gitmo detainee, was involved. We gave him arms, and those arms, conceivably, it hasn't come out yet, but conceivably those arms were transferred to this Ansar al-Sharia, and they conceivably could have been used during this unfortunate where 4 Americans were killed. Crazy stuff, but that's what this whole thing was about. But anyway, it's almost 12:10 in the morning. Somebody came by, they waved, I got distracted, whatever. But anyway, so I'm just going through this thing. I actually didn't read it, but I'm going to read it. It's really, this is a post by Kenneth Timmerman. Now, wow, look at this. Look at the footnotes on this thing. It's crazy. July 2015, Iran, in conjunction with Russia, has strengthened its military support for Damascus. Where's Damascus?
Syria.
In Syria. Thereby prolonging and exacerbating Syria's bloody civil war. For Tehran, the preservation of the Assad regime, its foremost regional client, constitutes its single greatest regional priority. A pro-Iran regime in Syria gives Tehran a foothold in the Levant and provides a pathway for military and financial support of its Lebanese proxy, Hezbollah, which has also benefited from increased Iranian loyalty since the JCPOA. I don't know what that is. I'm going to find out soon. But why I'm reading this was, according to the UN Special Envoy for Syria, Iran spends $6 billion annually to prop up. This is the language from the UN Special Envoy for Syria. Iran spends $6 billion annually to prop up Assad's regime. And Kenneth Timmerman said it's between 3.5. He said it's about 6 billion, and then the Congressional Research Service says it's between 3.5 and 15 billion. I got to read more of this. On July 18, just one more paragraph. Khomeini explicitly affirmed that the deal would not affect Iran's support for Damascus. In Syria, he has said the policy of arrogance is to overthrow at any price the government that is known for its resistance against Zionism, but our policy is against theirs. In the coming months, fearing that any dispute with Tehran would prompt it to abandon the JCPOA. That's the agreement. That's the Iranian agreement between Kerry and Mohammad Zarif. The Obama administration reversed its earlier position that Assad must leave power as part of a negotiated resolution. effectively putting
Sorry, I'm
Washington.
having trouble with
My phone is talking to me. What a night. This is great. But this is interesting. I'm going to read this. This is from Kenneth Tillman. This is one of his posts. He didn't write this, but this is one of his. He's an interesting investigative reporter. ISIS gets Syrian air defense system. Right? See, ISIS recently captured several Syrian air defense missiles, raising concerns that weapons could be used against America and allied aircraft. Several SA-6 mobile anti-aircraft missiles were captured near the northeastern Syrian city of Deira, where in recent weeks U.S. and allied aircraft have conducted airstrikes against oil and gas facilities controlled by ISIS. 4 missiles and 2 tracked mobile SA-6 launchers were captured by the group, the official said, adding that it is uncertain whether the associated fire control radar and other equipment needed to fire the missiles were captured. I don't know. Russian military forces concerned that ISIS would use the anti-aircraft missiles against its warplanes conducted airstrikes to try to destroy the SA-6s. I don't know. I mean, I love, this is the Washington Beacon, Bill Gertz. This is a great group. They're great. The Washington Beacon's great. I just, this ISIS thing, I don't know. Missile warheads likely to be used in car bombs. That's what this is. ISIS, I think, is a Sunni militia, obviously, because and I come from the contention, the 1980s where they had the Iran-Iraq war. There's no way, in my mind, that Iran is going to allow a Sunni militia to go to patrol the earth and just not be under the finger and the arms of the Iranian government. There's no way. They got their mojo right now. They got 150 going back. They're on OPEC. They're producing oil. They're about to be very wealthy again, a very wealthy country. They're going to be the power, the global power, the military power in the Middle East. Thank you to Obama. So I just don't see them allowing the Sunni militia, made up of different fractions within the Sunni the Sunni sect, whether it be Muslim Brotherhood, because Muslim Brotherhood is predominantly Sunni anyway. I don't know. I just don't see it. Listen to this one. Oh, this is a good one. CARE received 5.1 million in Obama stimulus cash before it left for Mexico. You believe this? Heating and air conditioning company Carrier, which has announced it will move 1,400 American jobs to Mexico, received 5.1 million from the Obama administration. Local media reported the Department of Energy awarded Carrier 5.1 million in clean energy tax credits in December 2013 for its Indianapolis facility. They plan to use the money to expand production at its Indianapolis facility to meet increasing demand for its eco-friendly condensing gas furnace product line. Energy efficient buildings with the support of 5.1 million in the 48C program tax credits. Carrier Corporation will expand production at its Indianapolis facility to meet increasing demand for its eco-friendly condensing gas furnace production line. Is that crazy? So they got taxpayers' money. That's an article right there. Right? Saudis and Russia agree oil output freeze. Iran still an obstacle. How about this one? Hillary Clinton and Cheryl Mills didn't sign mandatory agreement to return classified materials. There's another one. Breitbart News has obtained confirmation on State Department letterhead that Hillary Clinton did not sign the mandatory OF 109 separation statement when she left the State Department. The statement would have required her to affirm that she had returned all classified materials in her possession. Clinton's top aide, Cheryl Mills, also avoided signing a separation agreement statement. Additionally, Clinton never certified that she went through a mandatory security debriefing to learn how to handle classified information. State Department officials, meanwhile, admitted that they mistakenly mailed out sensitive information involving the Clinton case. Clinton failed to sign a separation agreement when she left the State Department around the time she was required to give back all of her classified documents. Clinton signed a Classified Information Non-Disclosure Act on January 22nd, 2009. This document is known as SF-312. It is a standard for government employees to sign an SF-312 when they begin working in a role that gives them access to classified information. But she was required to sign an OF-109 or separation statement when she left the job. Never signed it. Unbelievable. The SF-109 would have required her to affirm the following: I have surrendered to responsible officials all classified or administratively controlled documents and material with which I was charged or which I had in my possession. I am not retaining in my possession, custody, or control documents or material containing classified or administratively controlled information furnished to me during the course of such employment or developed as a consequence thereof. Unbelievable, right? That's an article, and so is this one. Okay, those are two.
You want to have time for your board?
To do what? Oh, I forgot the board, right? I always got my, here's my board, as always, when I'm looking at these articles, and I always start with this. This is the model. I forgot the model. I went right into the articles, but fraudulent selected service card, statistically significant. Sheriff Joe Nicole Posse, Obama has a fraudulent selected service card. He never mailed it, according to Sheriff Joe. And he did a memorandum of understanding in 2008, attached the Clinton Foundation to the State Department, and then we have the Iranian Global Terror Network with the Iranian surrogates, and it just, with Russia's involved, and it just shows this is like conceivably a criminal enterprise, and quite frankly, it hasn't gone through the official sniff test, but I believe that it's statistically significant. I have sources from the Blind Sheikh's Mosque to the 5 Quds Force leaders to the Bergdorf trade to the money sent to the PA Hamas, and we know through previous articles that I've read over here at 77 WABC that Iran gives Hamas tens of millions of dollars and weapons and rockets to drop on Israel. And then we got Syria, Assad, and the Obama administration sent $500 million to the Syrian rebels, and nothing happened there. Only God knows where the money went, because Iran's on the other end giving $6 billion to Syria. Go figure. And then we got the Benghazi cover-up, which was disclosed by Kenneth Timmerman, Dark Forces: Truth About Benghazi, that the Iranian Quds Force leader, General Soleimani, materially supported Ansar al-Sharia with weapons, money, and training. So that's the model that I start with, and then we go through these every day, and it ties everything, seems to tie into everything, because the truth be told, and it came out a couple of times with past articles where they were funneling money to the Gaza Strip in tunnels, tens of millions of dollars. Iran was doing it, so it just adds to the Iranian surrogates, the Iranian Global Terror Network. They materially support terror throughout the world, whether they do it themselves with Hezbollah in Beirut. It just goes on and on with them. I got 2 minutes. I'm going to get off the air. I just want to see any other articles. I got 2 articles. Oh, okay. The restaurant machete attack investigated as an act of terrorism. He screamed out Allah Akbar. So that's another one. He screamed Allah Akbar. Oh, this is an interesting one. Freed Gitmo detainee. Marine who led the charge. Okay, here's a potential. The Marine who led the charge to put the flag in Iwo Jima. That's a potential shout out. I'm thinking about that. Yeah. Here's Prince Hashim. Prince Hashim. Okay. So those are the articles I'm going to use for tonight. I think they're all right. So we had a crazy pre-show, a lot of fun. We're going to close it out now because I want to get ready for the live show in about 40 minutes. Frankie Russo, Help America's team, help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. We're going to fight post-traumatic stress disorder, 22 suicides per day. Crazy. We got to stop it. We're going to get the handheld biofeedback devices. We're going to rent the rooms. We're going to raise 50,000, get doctors. We're going to start small and build it. It's Frankie Russo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Frankie Russo pre-show 104. See you in a few.